The best thing about getting back together with the guys in Dog Society after the layoff was really it was like coming back home. I live for music. I live for playing music. There was a long time where I was trying to make music by myself. I couldn't find the right people. I was doing a lot of recording. And when Bruce gave me a phone call and was just kind of badgering me to get back to it, it's like, dude, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not ready. And I didn't believe it, but we played a party, got together, and as soon as we got together, we played one rehearsal, played a show, and we connected. And I realized at that moment that, you know what, this can be fun. It doesn't have to be all the stuff that we got sucked in with the industry, and it can be fun again. And what's happening is we're doing a lot of nice things now, probably more than we did earlier in our career. We're doing it on our own terms, and it's kind of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and that's the thing I get at. My favorite song playing live is Nothing Too Big. That song gets bigger and bigger every time we play it. Bruce wrote it when he was having a lot of pressure on him to fulfill his family needs and job and all that. And I didn't understand it at the time. I didn't have a family. I was single. And what's happened is Bruce is now, all his kids have grown up, and he doesn't have those ties anymore. And I feel it. And I know exactly what he was going through the first time around. And it means a lot when I play it, and that's why it means a lot to me. That's my #1 song. We have an incredible ability, Dog Society, to blend together, and it was apparent right from the beginning. As soon as I got off the plane, I moved from Colorado and joined the band. Actually, before I joined it, when we just did the audition, we hooked up, played about 6 songs. I learned them, and we learned some Zeppelin, I think some other covers or something like that. And it was really apparent that we were linked together at that point. It's only gotten better as we've played more and more shows. And to be honest, right now we don't really rehearse that much, but we don't need to. There's a chemistry that happens even when we're not so tight. We're still together with it, and it's not a big deal. And I don't know if that's what it is, but I know that they'll catch me when I'm down, and I'll certainly catch them if they have a bad night. That's how we roll. To describe Bruce Brower, he's extremely organized, extremely driven, extremely funny. He's fun to mess around with. And I'm totally not that way, but we get along perfectly, so it's good. The best way I can describe Rich is like serendipitous. He's out there. He allows things to happen. He's willing to he's extremely patient, and Rich has got a lot of love in his heart, and that's a good thing. Yeah, if you've been around Rich, you feel it, you know it. Joe is all about drumming. Joe drums everywhere, on everything. Everything is rhythmic with Joe, and Joe is even with the songs though. Joe finds a way to put a rhythm in everything. Joe is that piece. Zeppelin had Bonham, and Rush until they got Peart. They, you need that drummer, and Joe is a solid drummer. It's unbelievable what he can take a song to. Our first album, we did have producers that helped guide us through, and for me personally, the album Test Your Own Eyes was about discovering how I sang. If you listen to a lot of the recordings, if you were able to listen to a lot of recordings before Test Your Own Eyes, I wasn't singing the way I sang on Test Your Own Eyes. It was really a road to discovery for me, to find out how I worked, how my voice worked, and what sounded good and something I could reproduce day in and day out, because that's your real voice. It was really hard to listen to Test Your Own Eyes for me the first month afterwards. It was like, wow, it's like, that's me. But what happened was, that was me, and that was the discovery. So now the songs are all much easier now. As far as producing me, I feel like it's almost does itself. We just have to figure out, what's necessary for the songs. But I think even with the album, us self-producing, no doubt it's always good to have other people to listen and look. But we've been doing that for each other, and so it worked out pretty well. I'm very pleased with it. When I perform, when I play live, there definitely I definitely conjure up a different element, and there is a within myself that is a sleeping person. It's still me. I recall, I know my mother used to tell a story when I was very young. I was probably 4 or 5, and I would do the same thing as a child. We'd have block parties at our neighborhood, and I would be spinning around in my own little world as everyone else was doing the stuff. And it really hasn't changed any since I've grown up, and now I'm performing live in front of people. I look at it as something I need to conjure up to get the emotion part of it, and once I'm there, it's hard to break out of, and it's hard for me to talk on stage. It's a different part of the brain. So when you come to a show, I typically don't talk much because the talking mode of my brain, or lobe of my brain, it doesn't work a lot, and it's an effort to do, but it's just something I try to lock into. Songs like Nothing Too Big are very strong that way, and that's why I like playing them. When you're dead